Big news for Samsung fans. We might be seeing the Galaxy S25 sooner than expected. There's been a lot of buzz around the release, and Samsung seems to be gearing up for something big. So what's the timeline, and when can you expect to make a reservation? Let's dive into the latest leaks and updates. First, it's clear that Samsung is laser-focused on two major releases, the Galaxy S25 and the One UI 7.0 update. These are shaping up to be the biggest Samsung releases for 2025, and the company is reportedly planning to launch the Galaxy S25 early next year, most likely in January. Now, here's the exciting part. It looks like pre-reservations for the Galaxy S25 could start as early as January 5, 2025. This information comes from a recent survey sent to some Galaxy users in Vietnam. Samsung, or rather a retailer working with them, asked users what kind of improvements they'd like to see in upcoming high-end Galaxy phones. After completing this survey, users were promised a 10% discount voucher, which would allow them to save on their next Galaxy S series purchase. This voucher is set to be sent out on January 5, which seems like a pretty big hint. Why that date? Well, it could indicate the official opening of pre-reservations for the Galaxy S25. Typically, Samsung opens up pre-reservations a few weeks before its official launch events. With January 5 as a likely start for pre-reservations, that could mean we'll see the Galaxy S25 officially announced around mid-January. For some context, Samsung has been gradually moving up its launch timeline each year. The Galaxy S23 was unveiled on February 13, 2023, and then the Galaxy S24 launched even earlier on January 31, 2024. If Samsung is continuing this trend, an even earlier January launch for the Galaxy S25 wouldn't be surprising. Samsung's shift to earlier launches may be part of a broader strategy. By releasing their flagship phones in January, Samsung gains a head start over competitors who typically release new devices in the spring. It also gives Samsung a longer window to showcase new features and secure early sales. Now, let's break down what we know so far. 1. January 5, 2025. This is the key date when pre-reservations might start based on the survey details from Vietnam. 2. Official launch announcement. Given Samsung's pattern, the Galaxy S25 announcement could be set for mid-January, possibly between the 15th and 20th. 3. Early arrival strategy. Samsung has been pushing up its flagship releases, and an earlier launch for the Galaxy S25 aligns with this strategy. It seems they want to secure the earlier spotlight before the competition heats up. It's worth mentioning, though, that this survey wasn't directly from Samsung, but from a retailer in Vietnam. There's a chance that the January 5 date for pre-reservations might only apply to certain regions or be subject to change. We've seen hints like these from surveys in the past, but nothing's confirmed until Samsung makes an official announcement. To recap, the Galaxy S25's pre-reservations could start on January 5, 2025, with a potential launch date in mid-January. Samsung's earlier releases in recent years suggest they're aiming to stay ahead in the competitive smartphone market. So for all the Galaxy fans eagerly waiting, it seems like you won't have to wait too long to see the Galaxy S25 in action. With pre-reservations likely opening in early January, be ready to reserve your device soon. That's all for today. If you're excited for the Galaxy S25, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated. I'll be covering all the details as they come in, from new features to release dates, so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Now let's dive into the exciting showdown between two of the biggest heavyweights in the smartphone world, Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max and Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra. Both of these phones push the boundaries of mobile technology, offering cutting-edge features and exceptional performance. But which one takes the crown as the best big phone of 2024? Let's dive in and compare them side by side. Design. Starting with the design, both phones have distinct looks that reflect their brand identities. The iPhone 16 Pro Max stays true to Apple's iconic rectangular shape with flat sides and soft corners. This year, it features an even slimmer bezel, allowing for a larger 6.9-inch display. Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra, on the other hand, keeps its sleek, curved edges and integrates the ever-popular S Pen, a feature unique to Samsung's Ultra series. Size-wise, the differences are minimal. The iPhone 16 Pro Max measures 163mm at 77.6mm, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra is slightly shorter, but a bit wider at 162.3mm at 79mm. That extra width allows room for the S Pen, which gives Samsung an edge in productivity. Apple, however, introduces something new this year, the camera control button, a capacitive touch key that allows for zooming and other camera controls with a swipe. When it comes to color options, Apple sticks with its sophisticated muted tones. white, black natural, and the new desert titanium. Samsung goes for more variety with options like titanium violet and yellow. And for those ordering through Samsung's website, you get access to exclusive colors like titanium blue and green. Display. Now, onto the display. Both phones deliver top-tier screen technology. The iPhone 16 Pro Max boasts a 6.9-inch OLED display with a buttery-smooth 120Hz refresh rate. As with the iPhone 15 Pro series, you also get the always-on display feature, which lowers the refresh rate to just 1 Hz when the phone is idle. Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra isn't far behind with its stunning 6.8-inch AMOLED display that also supports 120Hz refresh rates and an always-on feature. One advantage Samsung brings is an anti-reflective coating, making outdoor visibility much easier in bright sunlight, something the iPhone lacks. Both displays are breathtakingly vibrant, but there are subtle differences in color. The iPhone 16 Pro Max tends to lean towards warmer yellowish tones, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra has a cooler, more tealish hue. A standout feature for the iPhone 16 Pro Max is its ability to drop its brightness to just 1 nit for easier nighttime viewing, great for late-night scrolling. Performance. Now let's talk about what's under the hood. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is powered by Apple's latest A18 Pro chip, built on a second-generation 3nm process. This makes it incredibly efficient, with significant improvements in heat dissipation and sustained performance compared to its predecessor, the A17 Pro chip. Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra is no slouch either. It runs on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, custom-tuned for Galaxy devices. While the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 performs well, especially in gaming and graphics-intensive tasks, it tends to throttle a bit sooner than Apple's A18 Pro under extreme stress. In benchmark tests, the iPhone 16 Pro Max leads in CPU performance, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra takes the edge in 3D graphics, scoring slightly higher in peak performance. However, Apple's new chip excels in long-term sustained performance, so if you're planning on pushing your phone to its limits, the iPhone may have a slight edge. Camera next. Let's discuss one of the most critical aspects of any flagship phone, the cameras. The iPhone 16 Pro Max features a 48-megapixel main sensor paired with a new 48-megapixel ultra-wide sensor and a 12-megapixel telephoto lens with 5x optical zoom. Apple has also introduced a new lens coating to minimize lens flare, addressing a common complaint in previous models. On the flip side, Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra brings its camera game with a 200-megapixel main camera, a 50-megapixel zoom lens, a 10-megapixel telephoto camera with 3x zoom, and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide sensor. Samsung has packed in more megapixels, but remember, megapixels aren't everything. The iPhone tends to produce more natural-looking photos, whereas the Galaxy S24 Ultra sometimes leans into oversaturation, delivering more vibrant images. In low-light photography, both phones perform exceptionally well, but Samsung's larger sensor can capture more detail in some scenarios. For video, the iPhone takes the crown with its 4K recording at 120 frames per second, ideal for capturing stunning slow-motion footage. While Samsung's camera app offers tons of customization, Apple's new camera control button provides a more intuitive experience for videographers. Battery life and charging. In terms of battery life, the iPhone 16 Pro Max packs a 4,685 mAh battery, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra edges it out with a 5,000 mAh battery. Both phones are more than capable of lasting through a day of heavy use, but Samsung's slightly larger battery may give it a slight advantage. When it comes to charging, Samsung takes the lead. The Galaxy S24 Ultra supports 45-watt wired charging compared to the iPhone's 20-watt charging speed. Samsung also has reverse wireless charging, which allows you to charge other devices like earbuds on the back of your phone, something Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max doesn't offer. Software. Lastly, let's compare software. Both iOS and One UI are polished, mature operating systems, but they offer different user experiences. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is a fantastic choice. But if you're looking for more customization options, better charging speeds, and love the idea of an S Pen, Galaxy S24 Ultra might be the perfect phone for you. Ultimately, both of these phones are top-tier devices with a ton to offer. Whichever one you choose, you're getting a powerful, feature-packed smartphone that will keep you ahead of the curve in 2024.